right, and we're back live. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Appreciate that. Had to get our audio issue fixed up. That's probably my bad. Good old Skype in Locust Grove. It always loves us. Brian, before we went to break, you said two words that I can't believe you've ever said. I can't believe it. Acknowledge me, really?
That's right. Acknowledge me.
Roman Reigns has poisoned your soul, sir.
I am man enough to say I was wrong, right?
Wow.
Nobody could have predicted this back then, however many years ago it was. Nobody could have predicted this. And I will admit that, again, this is an intriguing storyline for me. And although I missed that match due to power outage,
which absolutely sucks, by the way, that I would have been even madder if that had happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I finally got to see him lose. So Cody lose. But again, it's like we forget what we're watching. To me, like this whole thing is about the fan base as a whole has forgotten what we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to do stuff like this all the time. They used to build storylines that took forever to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, what have we been clamoring for decades?
Yeah.
Storylines.
Bring back long-term stories. Bring it back. Make us feel. And it did. And I think that's what's crazy. That's what brings me back to the frame of mind. I'm like, man, yeah, it's a little embarrassing. I don't mind. It is what it is. But it is cool that for a minute I was just right back to where I was as a little kid watching my favorite tag team bust up. And it's only this just now that I really realized and thought back that far as to what the last time I really, really, really felt like that. And it's like, damn, you have a good point. I really didn't look at it that way. But it's easy to get caught up in it, and because you get in the moment, right? Like for you, it was Flair and the Horsemen and Dusty, and I didn't even discover any of that stuff until right around 90 when Sting beats Flair.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned backwards, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But Hogan and Savage still is one of my favorite builds because of the fact you said it. You didn't see it coming. You didn't see them forming the Mega Powers coming, and you sure didn't see them splitting the way they did on Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
They did time it very, very well, and it stretched
Mm-hmm.
the span of almost a year and a half,
mm-hmm.
which is nuts.
And again, you can't necessarily do this with any Joe Blow, right?
Very true.
But when you have the opportunity, because you have somebody the caliber of Cody, and you have somebody that's been able to be your standard bearer for many years in Roman,
mm-hmm.
why then would I waste it in 2 months?
Well, with Cody, the interesting thing is, and realistically speaking, there were hints that we got that I know for me, I didn't pay any mind to it. Cody comes out to the ring, and Rob, we talked about it last week. He gives his weight belt to -1. Amanda Huber's there, his wife is there, his mom is there, his daughter's there. And normally, when those types of people are there, they're interacting after the match, not before. And I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That's a real emotional moment. Cool. -1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
And
they were about to kick me right square in the balls.
Right, because you've been trained.
Right.
Throughout the years that when family's in the audience and they show family.
Oh, it's happening. It's real.
It's happening. Right. Yes. Right. And again, though, and to me, this is kind of what's even funnier, right? Mm-hmm. When AEW does this, right? Where they just swerve the piss out of you. You know, it's like, oh, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You know, you just know somebody's about to win a title, and then all of a sudden, what?
Mm-hmm.
What just happened? FTR is a prime example, right? You brought them up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, well yeah, Tony knows what he's doing. That makes sense now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now the WWE actually swerved your ass. Well, not just you, but a
lot
lot
of
people. Yeah.
80,000 at SoFi Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, legit swerved them, and it was a dumb call. Or that made so much sense to do it on this day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same thing with Sammy. Now, I will say I do think Sammy should have won because Sammy actually had a year-long storyline.
Yes.
And nobody could have predicted how hot that was. Now, Sammy could have won it for a night and lost it on Friday.
Yep.
Right? And it would have been perfect. Because Sammy would have got his moment. He would have been world champion. I don't need Sammy long-term world champion.
No.
But for a week, I'm
definitely
okay
in agreement there.
Yeah.
No.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But we're not looking for Cody to be a champ for a week. Cody is probably being looked at to carry the ball after Cody. I mean, not Cody, but Roman takes a break.
Mm-hmm.
So Cody wouldn't have been the right one. Yeah. No. So Sammy would have been the right one. Cody needs a story.
Right.
Is for me.
It has been surmised or predicted, or whatever you want to say, that Roman is basically headed to Hollywood, and it won't be much longer. Now, whether that's April of next year or SummerSlam, we don't know. But it's long been predicted that that's the direction. So, yeah, you have a good point. With the build for Cody, him winning the title has to be longer than just a couple of months. Right. We said it actually when he first came back. If your goal is to build Cody and have him be the guy, it's got to be a lot longer than just a couple of months and you're done. Right. Otherwise, you're just going the same direction you were.
Right. And again, he got hurt, out for 8 months. There goes his build. You have to start fresh at Rumble. And while it would have made sense to the fans, financially long term, it would have hurt you in the pocket.
I guess the real story here, the real result that we'll see will be when we finally get that, okay, Cody is getting his shot at, we'll just say SummerSlam. And how did ticket sales do? You know what I mean? Because they're going to Detroit. I think they're going to another stadium. So if they sell out, which is likely, I guess I'm wrong and they're right.
No, it's not. It's not really about wrong or right. It's like you have to remember that they swerved you. They proved that they're still in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
By doing something that nobody legitimately saw coming. And it like really, I want you to think about this. In that moment, right? If you took that moment into the 50s when grandmothers would line up the front row, somebody would have got stabbed that night.
I think I compared it to when Taker lost the streak.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Like, we're all still like, oh, what?
I mean, the air was sucked out of that stadium when that
Yes.
pinfall was counted and Roman's music hits, 80,000 people were like, oh, holy shit, what happened? When Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar after, 4 F5s? The air was sucked out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to fathom that roller coaster. And I guess it's because, and we've always joked about it, but it is completely true. There is a huge short-term attention span
Mm-hmm.
in the industry, and WWE just, well, I guess I could say, yeah, WWE, at least in the moment, proved it's not their fault.
No, I mean, it's their fault, but because before this, I mean, you really got, I mean, think about it. When you had Austin and The Rock and WCW, they had decent storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And then once WCW got bought out and there was no competition, they just said, screw it, just throw shit on the wall and see what sticks.
So, with that being said, there is, I mean, of course, we could talk about Cody and all this stuff all day long, but there is conversation now that we're about to see yet another AEW TV show, and now we're hearing now that it's possible they're gonna do an actual brand split in AEW.
I have nothing wrong with that. As long as you keep them separate. That's the problem with the draft.
Right.
You promise you're going to keep them separate, and the next thing you know, you have everybody just crossing back and forth.
I mean, Tony Khan did well with finally separating Ring of Honor and AEW. He has gotten that separated, and he's done pretty good with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't fault that. Is it? It's hard to think about because they've only been around for 4 years, but AEW does a roster split. There's now rumor that CM Punk is coming back in June, which is good. This is a good thing. We could get the Elite versus CM Punk and FTR. I mean, that's where it seems to be headed. We've seen a lot of rosters that were really big, really filled. How do you approach a roster split with AEW?
I agree with hiring is like, the constant time where the Street Profits and New Day got drafted to the different brands and they just handed the belts off to each.
Yeah, that was irritating.
Is annoying, but we'll see how it goes with AEW.
Currently, with the rumor that I'm talking about, we're hearing that TNT is going to get a Saturday night show for AEW called Collision. CM Punk's return is rumored for June 21st. We have Adam Cole back. Kenny Omega is back at pretty well peak level. The Bucks are back, but I think Matt Jackson's still dealing with a shoulder injury, but it seems to be going well. The tag team division in AEW is being built back up. The women's division is pretty active. There's a lot. There's room there to move these titles around, to move these folks around. And if it turns out that CM Punk is like, you know what, I don't want to work with Hangman Page anymore, but I'll work with Kenny Omega, it does make sense that you could create 2 independent shows. It's got to be expensive.
Why? I mean,
Yeah,
the only expense would be how much set design he wants to change and if he wants to have different belts.
Well, do you think that they would continue to tour everybody together and just, okay, so for 2 hours we're taping Dynamite, then it's Rampage, then it's Collision, whatever they call the shows. They just all go
No,
to the same
because
location, or?
I'm pretty sure the next one's supposed to be live as well.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like.
Are you hearing him?
I am not. Rob, are you there?
It keeps dropping.
Yeah, he keeps cutting out.
Weird.
Keeps going boop, boop, boop. Can you hear me now?
I do. We hear you, sir. Loud and clear.
I don't know.
Listen, they have enough people on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You could split it into two and run it as two independent shows. And that the only time they get together is now Tony Khan talking about that he wants to do a weekend show.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you alternated matches, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever, then I'm okay with that. But if you split them and be done with it. Don't cross them back over.
So in that regard, if you split it, do you have 2 world titles?
Yes. 2 world titles.
Mm-hmm.
2
tags. 2 tag straps.
Yeah. 2 mid cards. You can keep as far as the 6-man. Well, maybe you can have the 6-man on one and say a hardcore title on the other or something.
Right.
You know, they don't necessarily have to mirror exactly, but so you have the 6-man title on one and the women's tag title on the other.
Mm-hmm. TBS title on one, TNT title or women's title on the other.
Right.
Yeah, and you get the TNT on one, and then you got the Mid-Atlantic, All-Atlantic, IHOP title on the other.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, it's like what Brian said. I mean, you're already traveling these people anyway. Mm-hmm. AEW doesn't travel as much as WWE, and WWE even does it where you get Raw or SmackDown. You don't get only your big stars will hop back and forth.
Right.
And so AEW does the same thing, and plus, it'd be a chance for a little bit more development of those that you don't see as much, because Dynamite and Rampage aren't going to be the same shows with the same people talking about the storylines. That's what it was at the beginning, Beginning, both shows are so different, you didn't see the same people.
Right.
But if anything, it's it's going to it'd be interesting to see if they start their brand split as WWE's trying to do their draft again, where Triple H came out and told us it's a game changer. We've heard that before. We've heard you coming out going, the fans have a voice.
No more authority figures.
Right. I personally feel like
now.
if they're gonna draft somebody from Raw or like
Skype
if you're gonna pull tape there.
Yeah, we're here, man. I'm sorry.
Damn. I can't tell if he's talking or not.
It's cutting him off. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I still show him on the call, but whatever.
I'm here, but I'm not talking anymore because I'm tired of repeating my fucking self.
I don't blame you. Damn it. Gotta love Skype.
It didn't mean to be the conversation stopper shit.
No, it's all right. It's just getting ourselves reset is all.
Damn. We're gonna screw up, Rob. Jackass.
With the draft, I mean, with what we've seen in WWE, like I said earlier, they've split tag teams. They've, killed stables off because it just wasn't what Vince wanted at the time. But Triple H's view, and maybe he is in charge of creative, maybe he's not. I mean, we've seen evidence of both. I think, frankly, it's probably a Triple H has his ideas, and then Vince just goes over top and says, no, we'll do this. And then, maybe he gives it back to him on different shows. I don't know.
It's Bruce Pritchard that goes, oh, hey, Vince, this is what Triple H wants to do. What do you think?
Right.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, the WWE has never pulled off a draft properly. So there's no reason to think they're going to pull this one off.
Yeah.
The only one that was surprising was the first one, or maybe the second one, when they were like, "Ooh!" After that, you're like, "This is bullshit."
They just had so many possibilities with the first one, and they botched that. I mean, they split up the NWO, they split up the Dudleys. All of these big name attractions that they split up. You're like, ugh, okay. And then you're forcing writers that have never worked with talent in those realms, like as a singles performer and all of that, to come up with stuff. You're literally putting everybody to the test. It's never been done before, I'll give you that, but come on. Somebody could have just sat down and said, well, let's try to be a little safer. Meanwhile, Austin Theory is on Monday Night Raw right now, and still nobody cares. Blah.
You even had him beat Cena, and nobody gives a shit.
Is it me, or was Cena just like in slow motion against Theory? It just didn't. It was. I mean, it was clear that he hadn't been in the ring in a while.
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
It reminded me of, you go to the indie show and you got that veteran that comes out and does the match just exact the way they've done it for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, all right, I'm on autopilot because I'm out of here.
Right.
I'm here for the paycheck.
I got to go finish filming Peacemaker. Let's do this. I can go.
Right. I made the mistake of telling them that I'd be available, and damn it, here I am.
More WrestleMania gripes. All this and more on Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio.
Stan's Wrestling Therapy Show number 2.
Right. In today's episode of Stan Has Feelings, we'll talk about the inner workings of his mind. And now everyone's tuned off. Bye.
You should leave the jokes to other people.
Well, I mean, when you come up with one, buddy, you let me know, and I'll.
Yeah, no. You be the straight guy. Me and Rob will supply the laughs.
Well, the jerk store called, and they're all out of you. Thank you, George Costanza.
Because I bought extra.
You got a cricket button?
No, I don't. Even if I did, you wouldn't hear it.
I need you to get one.
Get a cricket.
All I got to do is say hit crickets, and you'll hit crickets.
You'd have to text that for it actually to come off properly. Otherwise, it's just like, hit cricket stand. Okay.
No, but that's what would make it funny.
You have to hear the dejected reaction.
Yeah, you would say something, be like, Rob or me would be like, Stan, just hit the crickets.
And now we pause.
Oh, wow, I actually found one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Hit it. Let's see if we can hear it.
Okay. Hang on. Let me hit play again. You let me know if you hear it.
Did you hit play?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, okay.
But that's cool. You got one.
I just have to download it to the board.
Oh, that's funny.
So you don't have one.
No, I found it on YouTube. So. Okay, so keeping with the draft theme, who is your figurehead of the new brand if you're drafting AEW? Is it Adam Cole? Is it Kenny Omega? Do you keep Kenny Omega on regular AEW? What do you do?
So I would hope that Khan wouldn't do a draft. Because the way he books, he could very easily be like, look, these matches are on Wednesday. These matches are on Saturday. And then without drafting, split the roster. You see what I'm saying?
Help me out. I'm not following.
So if I showcase the Elite on Wednesday, and then let's say Punk comes back and is Punk and FTR and the rest over on Saturday, I don't have to have a draft. I just have two separate shows. What do you mean develop a brand? I've already developed a brand. Now I'm just split. It's not necessarily a brand. It's the same company. You have two shows and two rosters are featured on each show.
Well, then you wouldn't split the titles.
So do you honestly buy into the fact that Raw and SmackDown are two different brands? Or are they two shows of the same company that showcase or are supposed to showcase different talents?
Well, yeah, that's what they're supposed to be, but that's what I'm saying is if we're looking at splitting the roster, we were just talking a few minutes ago about, creating a new title or world title and having tag titles on both shows, that kind of thing. So my question was more about that. So would you just not do that?
No, I guess I didn't. I don't need a draft to have this thing for you to tell me, oh, this roster is on Wednesday, this roster is on Saturday, right? I can have two different world titles. If you want to call it a brand, call it a brand, whatever. But because I can focus, Wednesday, I know I have the Elite and the BCC and, some of these other guys here. Oh, and they have titles. And then, here's a group of guys on Saturday, and they have titles. They're not two different brands. They're two shows of the same company. And they have titles. I mean, really, all the WWE did to distinguish between two brands is the color of the belts. One was red, one was blue. But because they've always drifted back and forth, even in the beginning, because it didn't take them long to do it, they're not two brands. Two brands would be clear and distinct and separate. Nike, Adidas. They're both shoes, but they're different brands.
Right.
They're not going to cross over. Maybe we could get lucky, like a Nike and Croc crossover or something. That would be kind of cool.
There you go.
Give me some Croc Air Ones.
They'll call them Crikeys.
Yeah, give me some Croc Air Ones or something. But you see what I'm saying? Like I don't need you as a promoter to try and feed me something and then you not go through with it. I can watch Wednesday show, even though it's under the AEW banner. Oh, this is Dynamite. Oh, these are who I can expect to be on Wednesday. And then on Saturday, watch AEW, what'd you say, Collision?
Yeah, I think that's the title of the show they're going to have on Saturdays.
Okay, Collision with this roster and these titles. And to me, it'll be two different shows. but it's still under the same umbrella. It's kind of like with ROH, in my opinion, right? ROH has a distinctive roster. ROH has titles. They have a different name, but at the end of the day, they're still owned by AEW.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, you're just going to add a third show, and it'll fall under the AEW umbrella, but it can be run completely different for all I care. And I'm not really going to put anything to what happens on Wednesday night with what happens on Saturday night, which is the way it should have been with Raw and SmackDown.
And I think they tried, but they just keep getting in their own damn way.
Yeah.
You know, I think a good way to decide who's on what brand is you have like the casino battle royal, but the mats on the outside of the ring are the color of the brand. Depending on where you get thrown out is what brand you're on. Booyah. And you probably didn't hear any of that, but hey.
No, I did. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, that's a different way to do it. Or he could just as easily just say, okay, hey, Saturday's the new championship, and this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't necessarily have to draft it per se, like put a televised draft. I think I get what you mean by that, Brian. And maybe the Casino Battle Royal is one way to do it. I love that Battle Royal. That's one of my favorite ones that they do, so I'm cool with it.
Or, better yet, to Rob's point, hey, you want to get crazy? Let's bring in CM Punk's dog.
Wherever Larry poops.
Yeah, and we'll let Larry decide who goes on what show.
Oh, my God. Eight's been a guy. Oh, all right. I don't
know if I
can do that too much longer.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't need, like, the draft and split rosters or whatever. I don't need that. Just split them. You ain't got to explain to me why you put somebody here. Just split them. Oh, just so you know, CM Punk's back and he'll be on Saturday. FTR, they're on Saturday. House of Black, they're on Saturday. Oh, you want to see Will Hobbs? Tune in to Dynamite on Wednesday.
I would think it would make better sense to kind of promote it, but I guess you'd have to. Again, it doesn't have to be a draft. I see your point there, but how do you distinguish it? I guess you just announce it and let it be that.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you promoting? Oh, we've got a second show now?
Right. To build to whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, but
third or fourth show now.
What build would you be looking for? Because outside of a tournament for new titles, what build would there be? Oh, we have a new show on, I'm assuming, probably a different channel. Wait, maybe not.
CNN.
Yeah, it's 6:05 on, TBS. Tune in here, where you're going to see such stars as CM Punk, FTR, right? I don't need the contract signings. I don't need spin the wheel, make the deal. I don't need none of it. Just, okay, well, who's on Saturday?
Everybody likes spin the wheel, make the deal. Come on now.
Well, again, these are little things that we've been programmed to have, and we don't need them because, again, if it doesn't work out, if I do a draft and it doesn't work out, and then 6 months down the line, I'm crossing the rosters back over, we're going to say the same shit about them that we've been saying about the WWE.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all had those. Just, Tony, put the people on whatever roster you want. Okay, this is where you see this guy. This is where you see this guy. We're not crossing over. Watch it if you want to watch.
Because guess what, Tony? You own it all anyway. That was very loud.
Yeah, that was loud. That was good, though. Because now I can tell you to hit it, and we know we can hear it.
I was just trying to find it. Oh, look, Trish is back.
Well, see that one. Did Becky show up?
No, so I guess they're trying to use this as like Becky has a foot injury or something, but she tweets out that she wasn't going to be at Raw tonight. This was earlier
Did
today.
Seth show up?
Did who?
Seth Rollins. Was he at Raw tonight?
Seth was at Raw.
Was he? Oh, wow.
He beat the piss out of the Miz.
Oh, poor Miz. So that's what we're doing now?
Everybody beats up Miz.
I wouldn't have showed up if I was Seth personally. After what they did to him, 2 weeks ago?
That was crazy. He comes out, they got his music playing, crowd's going nuts, and then during commercial, they're like, nope, that's it, bye. Like, really?
Yeah, well,
that's
they,
up.
Yeah, during commercial, they're like, we don't have enough time for this segment, yet the cameras come back on, he's like, just standing in the ring still.
right. Just random-ass mic drop, and he's done. Like, what the hell?
He was trying to figure out how to walk in that outfit.
Yeah. I'd have been like, look, when you get your shit straight, I'll come back to work. But until then, I'm sitting at home.
Well, Drew McIntyre, his contract's set to be up soon. He blacked out his Twitter. Hasn't shown up since he wasn't at, was he at SmackDown? I don't think he was. Be a big mistake you start letting these people go if you can't start making better use of them. Let Drew Galloway show up on Ring of Honor or AEW. That would be great. Let him show back up in Impact. That'd be great too.
So I see your point. However, well, maybe it'd be different if they do have two different brands. But once again, I think AEW is starting to get top heavy, a little top heavy.
They are. I agree with you. They are hiring too many people. I absolutely agree with that.
No, I don't.
Bring in the right talent at the right times, but
yes,
you're hiring. Like, bringing back Punk is good in the long run. I wonder, though, if it's going to help his locker room. But I also wonder how much of that is true and how much of it is bullshit. Was it really a brawl, or was it really more of a, hey, we need an angle to keep you separate from everybody while you heal. What if we did this? Because nobody else has ever done this before. It's the kind of thing that Tony Khan could put together. Because he's done a lot of that kind of crazy shit.
No, I mean, I think something like that would have come from, like, to me, that's almost like something Jericho would come up with.
It is. It really is. Jericho is the kind of guy to be like, well, no one else has ever done this.
Yeah.
We'll all swear to it. We'll all sign an NDA. Whatever you want us to do, we'll make it look as legit as possible. Ace Steel's probably like, you know what? I need time off anyway. Sure.
I mean, we're going to have to wait for, like, season 20 of Dark Side of the Ring or something.
Brawl out.
I mean, I can only hope, even if it was real, everybody is intelligent enough to know that this thing could, like, take AEW to a next level.
I mean, they got to.
And they could make money off of it.
I mean, I don't care how much you hate each other. God, there was rumors that Rock and Austin hated each other at one point. They still went out there and made millions. Hell, Brett and Shawn, go back further. You know what I mean? They legitimately hated each other.
Yeah.
But they still went out there and said, you know what? We're going to make $1 million tonight. Hit me in the face, Brett. Like, okay. Yeah. I as a fan, I love it because it keeps you watching. It keeps you wondering. But as a business person, I wonder, well, how much of it is truth and fiction anymore? But you don't get very many of those kind of moments, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is weird. I love FTR, though, where they're like, everybody should just play along and make money.
Yeah. Have you listened at all to Dax's podcast?
No, not yet. Mm-mm.
I don't know who Matt Kuhn is. He's done a lot of podcasts, but I don't really know a lot about him. He kind of feeds into Dax trying to make him say stuff. And it's really actually kind of irritating. Like, if you ever listen to Kevin Nash talk, he does one with Sean Oliver, and Sean just kind of talks to him. They have just straight conversation, and it just randomly goes in different directions, and they cover things. Versus, like, Conrad, who asks legit direct questions on a topic. This guy, Matt Kuhn, is just like, hey, Dax, if CM Punk came back and he's really unhappy, does that make you mad? Like, he's trying to guide him down this weird-ass path. Like, I hate that. That being said, though, Dax is making statements like, hey, Jim Cornette can say whatever the hell Jim Cornette wants to say, but we don't have to agree with him. Cash Wheeler says the same thing on Twitter. It's hard to believe that in 2023, Cornette is still keeping people talking like that.
Why though? I mean, again, if you look at the greatest minds since you've been alive in pro wrestling, wouldn't Cornette be in the top 5?
Yeah, I would say so.
You know, if Paul Heyman wasn't on WWE TV and had a podcast.
Oh, Heyman would have people pissed off just as much as Vince Russo does.
Sure. But Heyman is smart enough to know that if I piss them off today, they're going to tune back in next week.
Right.
You know, if you started a company tomorrow and say, hey, I need somebody to come in and be hit booker, of all the free agents out there right now, you know as well as I do, you're going to call Cornette.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
like, look, bud, I'm bankrolling this. I'm going to give you the book. You just write it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to leave the house.
I have a feeling that call would end with, thank you, fuck you, bye.
Yeah. But again, the world
always
thing,
like to payday.
Yeah, the wild and wacky world of pro wrestling. You never know. FTR could be calling Jim Cornette.
So
Getting tips from Cornette. You never know, like who knows who.
The internet would pop if Cornette showed up in FTR's corner 1 week on Dynamite or something.
Oh, I mean, if I was Tony Khan and I had a match, like the biggest match of FTR's career, I would throw big money at Cornette. Look, man, I just need you to come out with your tennis racket and your coat, and you're going to help them win, and then you can cut whatever promo you want, and then you can walk away. But I'll give you a hell of a payday for it. And again, don't announce it, because as soon as it hits on, Twitterverse, everybody's going, oh crap, where's my remote? I now got to pay $50 for AEW All Out because Jim Cornette just showed up. That's the type of guy Cornette is.
Do you think that if Cornette was to show up on AEW TV, that it would, as they say, pop a rating?
Yes. You can. All right, so let's put it to you like this. Stan, you watch Dynamite, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's say let's try and play this scenario out somehow. All right, let's say you got to work late, right? Mm-hmm. It's 8:30. You got your phone, your DVR and Dynamite for the night. You're on a conference call with the boss, right? So we have this little perfect storm going, right? Conference call with the boss. You have your phone. You're getting the updates. You're now, you're DVRing Dynamite. Ding. Jim Cornette has just walked out with FTR on Dynamite. I want you to finish this scenario. What is Stan going to do in that moment in time?
Yeah, but Stan's not the casual fan. Stan's already watching AEW when he has a chance. You know what I mean? So,
but again, AEW is built more for us than it is for a casual fan.
Right.
Right? What's the big thing they talk about that their audience doesn't grow? Because it's a niche audience built for us.
Right.
But again, Stan, who's at a conference call with his boss, his phone, who he wasn't paying attention to, and Dynamite's being recorded in the living room on the DVR. I know what Stan's probably going to do. Stan's probably going to freak out, and shortly about 30 seconds into this, when he reads it, is probably going to gasp or something and alert the boss that, oh, crap, I'm paying attention to my phone. Why should we be paying attention to you?
I just want to go on record and say that if you're listening, I would never do that. I would clearly focus on my job.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, I could almost see you, like, somehow getting your wife to bring the TV into the room or figuring out some way to get your cable provider on your iPhone or something so you can now watch what's going on.
I might actually have to, find a way to,
Oh, wait. I have to go to the bathroom. It's going to be a few minutes. I had bad Chinese for dinner. Sorry.
Just as long as I don't forget.
Please wave your hand if you want me to unmute my mic.
Then when Stan comes back, he's got the Bubba Rogers glasses on. He's got a fedora on his head.
Not the Bubba Rogers glasses. Damn, you took it way back.
Yeah, their whole fan base would freak out.
Mm-hmm. Would that instantly turn them heel, you think, or would people pop for it and just go, "Oh my God, it's Cornette"?
They would pop. I mean, could Cornette pull off a straight heel turn? Yes, but I think Cornette is in that rare, company where, again, Ric Flair could go out there and smack your grandmother. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to cheer him on.
Woo!
You're going to be like, put her in the figure four. Let's get it on. Where's Arn and Tully? Get them in here too. Let's just straight up drag her across the concrete.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
It is Ricky Morton, my own grandmother.
Yeah, but, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels was so good at being a bad guy, you loved him. Mm-hmm. Austin, The Rock. Cornette's in the same boat. Like, he can't. Paul Heyman. God, he's such a good bad guy. MJF. You love this guy as a bad guy, that you just love him. He can't do no wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even say this. MJF's segment this past Wednesday where he was singing Pennies from Heaven, it was pretty damn funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says. It was pretty damn funny.
Well, look at what he did at that event not too long ago where he nut shots the little kid.
Oh God, that was.
And
hilarious.
The little kid's over, is like 2 feet away, just like screaming in pain. His dad is smiling, and MJF is smiling. Yeah.
Only time I've smiled all day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Literally though, but as well as I do, if Cornette come out, you'd be like, here, Jim, let me load this thing. Now you just go and whop my wife up in the head. Do it like old school way.
I mean, I think another thing is the fact how much Jim Cornette has gone on record saying he can't stand certain people in AEW.
Right.
Would be an even bigger pop that he
Mm-hmm.
was there.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that I would purposely keep as secret as possible and then have them show up on pay-per-view.
Well, but again, with the brand split, if you put certain people on one brand,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to call it, and then the ones that he really would want to work with on the other, you might be able to get them out on a Saturday at 6:05.
That's true. It'd be interesting to see what a Saturday show at 6:05 would do now.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
I mean, it's tough sledding no matter what. If you think about it, you're putting a new show out there. If you are truly doing a roster split, now you're gonna start it off. I kind of think you're probably right. You start it off as, hey, we got an AEW show on Saturday, and then you gradually move it to, you could see these guys here and these guys there.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, you would definitely have to load the Saturday show,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the beginning.
Yeah, you'd have to be doing it pretty consistently, because if you don't, the first weekend where you really just phone it in, you're not getting those fans back. They go, this sucks. I'm watching something else. Man, it's a lot of wrestling.
It is, but that's a good thing. I mean, that's without wrestling, man.
Mm-hmm.
Part of your soul is missing.
That's not wrong. It's crazy, but yeah, you're not wrong. It feels weird when there's not wrestling on TV. And no, I don't mean the repeats that Total Divas that my wife likes to watch. That's not wrestling.
That's funny.
Fight Forever still has no release date. I'm starting to wonder if we'll ever see this stupid-ass game.
Why?
Nordic THQ comes out and says, yeah, it's great that they said that they're expecting it to come out soon, that it's practically ready. It's really not, though. That's basically what they said. It's like, damn. Okay, guys.
But do you want them to rush a product and it being ass, or do you want to let it percolate a little bit and be something good?
It needs to percolate for at least 4 years.
Right, like they've had a little bit of time to develop it. What the hell else are they going to be doing here?
How much time have they had? They haven't had a lot.
They started putting it together in 20.
No, they formulated an idea in 20.
All right, so let's fast forward and say they started in 21. Still been almost 3 years.
Okay. All right, so let's take Diablo
4. Good call. Diablo
How long
4
has
has
that
been
been
in
production?
production since 19. Still not out.
Okay.
Did start
Still
beta
not
in
out.
March.
Right. They're getting ready to. Now, again, the crazy thing is a game like Diablo hasn't really changed since the previous ones. It's just got better looking graphically.
Yeah.
Right?
And I will say Diablo 4 looks stellar.
Right. Sometimes you got to let games build, or you turn into
Oh, no, he said
the
let it
2K
play out
franchise.
again. Damn it.
No, the 2K franchise.
Yeah.
Right? Or the Madden franchise, or the NHL, or the NBA. You're putting them out every year. And eventually they just turn into pure crap. Although I heard this year's 2K was a little bit better.
2K23?
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
The My Rise is a fun storyline. It is two different stories. One's a legacy and one's like you're an indie guy. So it's interesting. It is actually an interesting storyline. I do like what they did that. I haven't tried GM mode yet. I actually really enjoy watching up, down, down. Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze do a battle of the brands.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun to watch. Woods did WCW, Breeze is WWE, and they drafted their rosters. One of them drafted Leviathan instead of Batista. And there's made-up characters in there, too. So you could draft, like, one of the made-up characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush. I want a good game. If it takes me 5 years, it takes me 5 years. It won't be the first time I've waited for a game. The next Elder Scrolls, we've known about that forever today.
Yeah, with Elder Scrolls 6 still is... we don't even have a preview trailer for that. We got a teaser of scenery
Yeah.
when they announced they were working on it.
Yeah. The next Witcher. We've had to wait on. What was the big one that just... There was something not too long ago that was going to come out or is getting ready to come out that's been in, like, production for 10 years or something crap like that. I forget what it was. You know, why rush? Let's let it simmer. Let's take it in. It's a return to THQ. If they get it right, it's worth the wait.
Damn. You know what? I am going to rename the title of the show to Let It Play Out.
Let it play out.
Or the semi-title, whatever the hell.
There you go. Let it play out.
Let it breathe, man.
You young whippersnappers have no patience.
Brian Flores Stan.
Y'all must be Gen Zers or something.
What? You
Y'all
realize
have
we're
no
all in the
patience.
same generation there, right?
Yeah, I know. But y'all have no patience. You have no patience. No patience at all.
Damn entitled millennials.
Yeah.
Do this for me. Do this for me. No, we're not gonna.
Oh, y'all got to come over. I'll get y'all to come over to the house in probably about 3 weeks. We're going to build a front porch that I can sit on and just drink alcohol all day now that I'm going to retire.
Oh, is it official now, or is it...
Yeah, it's official. Yeah.
Okay.
I turned it in today. Yeah, everybody, the
man.
proper people know I've turned it in. And
I didn't
now
want to spoil it.
let the games begin.
That's
Let the
awesome.
games begin.
Congratulations.
Yep.
You've earned it, man. I mean, you really have. You've worked your ass off, and now you can
I'm so fucking jealous. FOMO. I got FOMO.
I'm going to let my hair grow out because my wife likes my longer hair. She doesn't know that for the first month I'm going to grow a beard and mustache.
Yes!
Just because I have never done it. I want to do it. And then we're going to build a porch, and I'm just going to sit on the porch and drink all day. Hopefully, as the school bus rolls by, I'll toast them as they go.
Brian's
know what you do
is you...
Brian, what I'm going to do is walk up to that random person working that does our profession, right, after I retire, going, man, what you got? That sucks, and walk away.
Nah.
My name's Brian, and I sell propane and propane accessories. Dang, man.
You look like about a size 7.5.
I'm gonna take a month off, and then we'll see where it goes.
That's crazy, man.
I'm not entertaining. I mean, I'll get me a job after this month, but this first month, so from June 1 to July 1, I'm not entertaining shit. I'm not putting applications. I'm going to take a fucking month off.
Wow.
Yeah, I read somewhere where, like, what I was thinking about doing when I retire, you have to be separated for, like, if you're separated for a year, then you could, like, basically do 2 careers. And I was like, but could I do almost nothing for a year officially, you know? Then if you do it for so long, you wouldn't go back and do anything.
As long as you're getting the right amount of money, I'm sure you could.
All I say, Brian, is when you do go back to doing whatever or go to do what's next, do what you want. Do what makes you happy.
Oh, I mean, I don't plan on doing anything but doing what I want.
And don't take no shit from nobody.
I don't take no shit from nowhere now, but if I only want to work 30 hours a week, then I'll fucking work 30 hours a week. And if I just say, no, I'm not coming in this week, I'm not going to go in this week.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous.
That would be nice.
I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous as hell. I'm happy for you, but I'm jealous.
Yeah, if I decide to go work part-time at GameStop, I would go work part-time at GameStop. Give me some discounts on games.
Yeah.
And then I hope y'all come and turn in games, come and look at you funny and be like, what? It ain't me. It's a goddamn computer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't care what you think this
Yeah.
Elder Ring's worth. I give you $1.50.
No. Now,
Well,
if you want credit, I can give you $3 for it.
$3.
If you want cash, it's $1.25. You take it or leave it.
Meanwhile, Brian's got every single brand new game, all the new consoles. He is the hookup.
Oh, he has the demos.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
he got a demo. You know, he can't talk about it if you don't know how it works.
That's right.
Yeah, he's great.
He has enough swag to convince whoever the manager is to be like, you're right. I think you need to take it home.
Well,
and he'll be like, I'll tell you this. I'll take it home first. When I'm done playing, I'll bring it to you.
that's going to do it for us for this week for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio. Catch up with Brian at Vlad Dragul, C2C, VLADDRAGOOL, C2C.
Blah, blah, blah.
Catch up with Rob at Rob Hefner, C2C. Catch up with me at Stan Grubb, and catch up with the show at C2C Radio Show and C2CRadioshow.com. We'll see you next week. Well, maybe we'll have a clearer view as to what the supposed roster split, brand split, whatever the hell we're going to call it, could be for AEW. But until then, have a good week. We'll see you next time.